Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to Representative Ferguson for hosting us in your district today. It's great to be in Georgia to discuss how we continue to help families, small businesses, and our overall economy. We know that the best way to strengthen and grow our economy is to grow the middle class. And that's what Democrats on this committee and in the House did last Congress. We were faced with a dire economic situation from the pandemic, and we successfully created jobs and worked to tackle inflation. Ways and Means Democrats made historic investments in creating more domestic manufacturing, lowering health care and energy costs, and increasing opportunities for small business owners. Right here in Georgia, millions of working families are currently eligible for the Inflation Reduction Act's rebates for energy-efficient appliances, lowering their energy bills and putting money back in their pockets. I'm a strong supporter of the child tax credit, a proven tool that lifts children out of poverty and grows the middle class. The American Rescue Plan included a one-year expansion of the child tax credit. 2.1 million children received the enhanced child tax credit, totaling over $3.26 billion in their parents' pockets. That meant it was easier for them to put healthy food on the table, keep a roof over their families' heads, and pay their bills. In just a few months, this program helped cut childhood poverty nearly in half. Name another program that's had this kind of impact so quickly. I've talked to countless parents about the child tax credit, and many tell me it simply provided economic stability and more than a little bit of a peace of mind. As a mother, I understand how much this means when you're raising a child. The impact of Democrats' economic plan is in the data. 236,000 jobs were created in March. 236,000 jobs were created in March. Over 12 million jobs have been created over the past 2 years. The unemployment rate is down to 3.5%. Real GDP increased at an annual rate of 2.6% in the fourth quarter of 2022 and 3.2% in the third quarter. But all that work is now under threat by House Republicans. Let me be clear, the greatest threat to economic security of Georgians and families across the South right now is Republicans' extreme policies. This week, Speaker McCarthy finally unveiled his so-called plan to raise the debt ceiling. This bill would kill thousands of jobs, gut programs families rely on, accelerate the climate crisis, and undo much of the progress over the last 2 years. Meanwhile, President Biden's plan would make the investments we need in our future while cutting the deficit by nearly $3 trillion over the next decade. The right way to avoid a default is to pass a clean debt ceiling increase. My colleagues and I are open to finding a bipartisan path forward on funding the government and lowering the deficit. But we've also been clear, and we can't have these discussions if Republicans are going to hold our economy hostage. There is a bipartisan path forward on growing our economy and on growing the middle class. Something that's been one of my top priorities that I think Democrats and Republicans alike are supportive of is increasing the availability of affordable housing. The lack of affordable housing is a problem that I consistently hear about as I travel across the country. Over 17 million households are spending more than half of their income on rent. That's not sustainable when they're paying other bills, when they have the other bills to pay like groceries or utilities and health care. We have a proven effective tool in the Low-Income Housing Tax Credit, or LIHTC. LIHTC is our country's most successful affordable housing program and has created over 3.5 million affordable homes since its creation. But we know it can do more. That's why I champion the Affordable Housing Credit Improvement Act, along with many of my Republican colleagues, to build more affordable housing by expanding and enhancing the credit. My bipartisan bicameral bill has had over 207 co-sponsors last Congress, many who are members of this committee. It would create an estimated 2 million more affordable homes over the next decade. Nearly 152,000 of them would be right here in Georgia. That's the kind of bipartisan issue Americans want to see us address. So thank you again, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing. I look forward to our discussion, and I yield back.